Okay, this is our Hardanger fiddle. We're trying to finish up. We got the nut reset, fingerboard reset, and we're making the bridge. And here's a couple of the old bridges that were in the case. These two here, both too short. This one looks like the legs were cut off. They were just using it for the lower strings. This one was too low. Pencil goes right over the top. So we had to make a new one. First we traced it out on some planks, stock of aged hard maple. This is a commercially available one here, made by the Gertz company in Germany. But we would have had to modify that. That probably would have worked, but it looks completely different than the one that was on there. So we're assuming that this one was either the original or copied after the original and cut down over the years. This could have been the original here too, it's hard to say. But either one, they were not properly fit. So, got a blank, we cut it out, roughed it out with the power tools. And this is the finished product here. Made a couple just in case. The after it was, the feet were fit, we measured the height. And made that just slightly higher for the sympathetic strings than the old one. But you can see that the height, this is the correct height now for the regular violin strings and the sympathetic strings in the middle. You can see how much shorter the old one was. That would not have worked. So we'll be ready to string this up now. We also checked the sound post. We have a piece of leather to protect the top finish from this metal prongs that hold the sympathetic strings. But you can see the sound post inside there. That was somewhat crooked and applying pressure to the top, so we straightened that out. So this is probably the first time this has been strung up in 50 years. You're just nice and straight. Well, now the strings are holding that away, so we don't need the leather. 4 30 seconds and 3 30 seconds on high E. By the way, these are all the files. Once it's roughed out, you need to use files, knives, and chisels to get this to the right shape. Pretty time consuming. Oh, while we're here, this is the bone that we used to replace this piece here. As you can see, this is pretty well aged. It's probably 80 to 100 years old, as this wood that we used to cut the bridge. It's quarter sawn hard maple. Actually a little bit curly too. It's got a little bit of curl to it. So this bone was put here. This was a test piece we used to etch and make sure the etching would come out similar to what the tailpiece bone piece was like. So matched up pretty nicely. there's a problem with this lower string. The fingerboard is not flat. You can see where they put in the bone there that it's lower. So we're getting a little bit of buzzing right there. Looks like it's just on the D though, so. That won't do, so we're going to have to clean that fingerboard, flatten it out a little. Hopefully that's not going to hurt the bone there, but we may have to, I think even if that was higher, it would still probably buzz from that. You can see how the ruler rocks there. It's got a high point right there at the end of the bone, and that's where the string is hitting. So once we do that, we'll check that, see if we can adjust that a little bit. Then we'll put the sympathetic strings on, make sure that they're good. That's a little trickier though, because we'll have to feed these strings underneath the fingerboard here after we untangle them, underneath the fingerboard and through the middle of the bridge and hook onto these hooks. So we'll do that in our next installment, and we'll give it a play try, see how it sounds.